welcome. Hi, Chad. Nice to meet you. Welcome to our country. We know you participate in a high school musical. What about this experience?
Wow, High School Musical was one of the most incredible experiences that I ever had in my career because it was, I've never experienced anything as big, like Beatles, like big, just lots of fans and what's a good word? Craziness. It was great. The whole band was excellent, and all the cast.
Okay.
They were fantastic, and then we got to, travel a lot of places. But we came here to South America and did stadiums, which was a blast. That's when it all, I think, clicked with everyone how big it was, how big High School Musical had gotten. But yeah, it was a great experience. Lots of music. We played a lot of different styles, and I was able to kind of be me, showcase my drumming style within the music, not just being confined to the record. Play exactly what the music is.
How many plays in this season?
High School Musical, South America, we did 7 countries, 10 shows, 7 countries. Yeah, and then with the States, that tour was 2 months, and we did 41 cities,
Okay.
yeah, in 2 months.
In the United States.
In the United States.
41 cities in 2 months.
In 2 months.
Wow, it's amazing. Here in Peru, the drummers and the musicians prefer and like the gospel musicians. You consider it yourself as a gospel musician or gospel drummer, or maybe a drummer more open?
Yeah, I consider myself more grounded. Yeah, I grew up in church playing gospel.
Okay.
I still do.
You are a specialist of gospel in the gospel?
No, not necessarily.
But you prefer?
I prefer any music that's good. I enjoy playing gospel music. I really do. My father was a big jazz lover. So I know that because he was a big jazz lover, that's probably because that was the first music that I really got exposed to.
Drummer?
Yeah.
Jazz drummer?
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad's not a jazz drummer, but he listened to a lot of jazz.
Okay, but like.
So yeah, so that came into me. The gospel came much later.
Okay.
And then even then, gospel music, especially gospel drumming, wasn't like it is now. I mean, that was I was born in 1971. So when I started playing drums seriously, that was 1976, 1977. The gospel drumming thing was like, didn't exist. Like,
Okay.
Until I got into college, when, in 1990, 90, 91, 89, 90, 91, the gospel thing was just kind of, became a whole new thing.
You studying Berkeley.
Yes.
What do you say about your influence after and before Berkeley?
Well, like I said, when I was like 5 or 6 years old, my dad listened to a lot of jazz, and Steve Gadd was like one of the band that he was in, Stuff, one of his favorite bands ever. And I just loved Steve's play. That's why I played drums. Those albums immediately made me want to play. So that's where as a kid, from like 7 years old up until high school, that's what I was trying to be, Steve Gadd or Jeff Porcaro.
With your studies, you put in order your knowledge.
Yes.
You put in order your knowledge, or it's more important. You can say after I studied Berkeley.
What's more important is what you make important. In other words, Berkeley or college or anything like that, it's not for everybody. And I didn't even graduate Berkeley. I went there with intentions of graduating, but my sole purpose to go there was to become the best musician I could possibly be. And when I got everything that I needed out of the school, and I said, okay, I think I got everything, I'm ready to go to work. I split and I went to work. So
It's the very best answer.
yeah.
It's a very best.
So, I mean, I have a lot of friends. John Blackwell, Taco Hirano, Abe Laboreal Jr., Lil John Roberts, John Lampkin, Keith Harris. We all went to Berkeley together. Some of us graduated, like John Blackwell, Taco Hirano. Some of us didn't, like myself or Lil John. But everyone, has been very successful. They made their plan, and
when you study the competitive there is high level.
the competition was high, but the very beautiful thing about Berkeley was that you never felt like you were in competition with other guys. It was a very close community, a very great brother and sisterhood. Everybody looked out for each other. I don't know how they feel about it, but I know me personally, I never once felt a competitive edge. There was never, I got to get this before this guy.
What do you tell me about your experience playing with Rhythm?
Dream come true. Absolute dream come true.
Tu sueño hecho realidad.
I still smile from ear to ear because it was literally a dream come true. I grew up listening to Lee, and in a million years never thought I'd ever play with him. It was a dream, right? Wow, it'd be great to play with Lee now. And there's a funny story about me getting Lee's gig. Initially, my wife is a tour keyboardist. Yes.
Play keyboards too?
Yes.
Okay.
We toured together, and she knew Melvin Davis, Lee's bass player. When she told me this, I freaked out. all I said to her was, I would like to meet Melvin Davis one day because he became one of my favorite bass players. And she's a musical director as well. At the time, a musical director for Ollie Woodson of the Temptations. And she needed to put a band together for a show. So she said to me, I'm going to put Melvin Davis on the show with us so he can hear you play. So we went and we played this Temptation show, and Melvin and I were sight reading the show basically. So we were both buried in music and obviously listening to each other, putting our ears on, but we were so into making the show perfect that we couldn't really get into playing with each other, communicating.
Okay.
Well, so Melvin hired me for Shaka Khan and then recommended me to Lee Ridnow.
Okay.
And actually, I wasn't supposed to do Lee's gig. Gary Novak was playing on that tour.
Okay.
And Gary couldn't make a rehearsal in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So Lee asked me to come down and play the rehearsal. And no problem. I played with Lee, and he says maybe this will probably lead to some other stuff. So I went down to the rehearsal and played it down straight. First time, no mistakes. And then they left to start the tour, meet up with Gary Novak and start the tour. And then 1 week later, Lee called me and said, Gary can't finish the tour. Would you please come out and join me for the rest of the tour? And there was.
What is the most important attitude to the drum?
To me, most important, at least this is for me, my experience, my success or whatever. Listen. Listen to everyone and everything around you when you're playing, and try and think more like a musician and less like a drummer. Because when you're thinking more like a musician, then it becomes a team, player, family. You start to have conversation, connect with everybody involved. That's to me the most important thing. That's doesn't matter if you're playing for a hobby, if you're playing in church, if you're playing some big concert. Listen and play. Use your head, use your ears. The gig is great, and people are. There are people out there that like what you do and, make you feel great on top of the world. But when you get home, when you're off that stage and the lights are off and you have to be human, and you have to be kind to yourself and most importantly, everyone around you. Treat everyone with respect. Show respect. You can't do it alone. I go home to my family, and that brings me down to earth. To all my Peruvian drummers out there, first of all, thank you for the love and the support. My advice to you, be good to yourself and to each other. That's you're blessed to do this, blessed to be drummers. So give thanks to God and be good to yourself. That's the best advice I could give. It's worked for me, and somebody gave me that a long time ago.